the remote of this, on a laptop, out there. I don't do it much for when I'm doing, for this show, I'm like just the one-man sound show.
Right.
I designed it, I'm running it.
That's why you grew the beard, right?
I did, that's right. So, I did, since I did it all myself, I didn't really set up my tech table,
Right.
There was no point. But if I'm just designing, I don't run all the shows, so if I'm just designing, then I can set up my laptop, similar to a Yamaha Studio Manager type setup.
Right.
The only thing that's slicker is that this one you can set up, I forget how many remotes, it's like 20.
Yeah.
So you could have so if I wanted to, for example, we could set a laptop up by the music director, and he could
mix his own monitors,
adjust his own monitors during the show, much like an Avium or something like that, except it would be a laptop screen, and it would look just like this, and he could just, move up or down a channel or something like that.
Well, that's nice.
So it's pretty nice. It does, you do have to work in a different way, or not in a different way, but in a slightly different manner than what you might be used to working in, instead of having a bunch of outputs with a big matrix on them. There's no matrix outputs. So what he has is this whole thing with monitor mixers. So what I was going through before was just, the idea is that, the software is written in a way for bands, right?
Okay.
So you got the front of house console, which is what you're looking at now, and then you've got 24 monitor mixers. So essentially you have 24 separate mixers, virtual mixers, right? And you can, each band member would have his own mixer, right?
Okay, so you click on the equivalent would be
Equivalent would be if every band member had
Synth
his
to
own
fader in a Yamaha console, where you just click that, you can see it's its own surface.
Kind of, but it's a little bit more sophisticated than that, because it's really like having a separate console.
Okay.
So really what this...
And then you can do all separate processing for each console, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So what the console really is a 72 input console with 6 auxiliary sends, and it has, you can see, there's 24 buses, right? And of those, the first 8 are assignable to actual hardware outputs, and 9 through 24 just become submasters.
Okay.
And you can use them like a traditional submaster, where you mix your audio together,
right?
Or you can use them more like a DCA, which is kind of like if you watch, I have 2 faders right here. This is all the band to the stage feeds, and this is all the band to the house. So it's all, during when I'm running the show, I'm not touching, a whole bunch of faders for the orchestra. Right. I just have one fader that feed, this is the orchestra feed for the stage monitors, this is the orchestra feed to the house system, and then we balance them out, depending on what the show needs.
Right.
But as you can see, they work kind of like a DCA in that they bring all,
Right.
It's more like a fader group, really, and like the way a DAW would work.
Right. So this could really, as a product, could really save a place in terms of what is needed for a full install. Right? Infrastructure needs are significantly less for this. At front house.
Yeah, you could make this all a lot more compact.
Versus it's a small rack of interfaces and input
right.
output.
Well, if you wanted to, you could put all this backstage and I could just have a laptop and this connected to it via MIDI, and I could run the show that way.
Yeah.
That's all I would really need. And I happen to have 2 screens, but this when you jump, what you're jumping here is really, these are more like layouts in SFX.
Right.
You can change the layout in SFX, and you can all the windows rearrange. That's what these keys are really doing right now. So if I hit F12, it just happens to take me to the front of house mixer, which is where I run the show from. If I hit F9, then it brings,
They're all programmable keys for whatever.
Yeah, well, you have to use the F keys, but
Sure.
but you can set those to anything that you want. You know?
Okay.
Like I could get rid of, I could get rid of this and stretch this mixer all the way across the screen if I wanted to.
Well,
and that could be another.
That's just vain.
It would be. If you wanted to look at a lot more. If you need to really look at 60 channels at a time or something,
Yeah.
To run a show, I guess. I don't know.
In terms of audio quality, I guess it's just whatever your preamps are, it'll do, or whatever your sound card.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's, it's going to depend on obviously, what your mics are,
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of sound quality,
The Behringer's limit of 48. So
right,
you go to 48.
exactly, right,
Yeah,
exactly. It'll do 96K if you have 96K converters,
Mhm.
and you have the CPU to run it.
All right, SAC.
There you go.
I like acronyms.
It's www.softwareaudiocouncil.com.
Woohoo!
There you go.